Disposable cameras. Ilford have got their HP5, they've also got XP2, and Kodak have got their trusty Kodak TRI-X 400 disposable camera, which is one that I'm going to be trying out today. What I want to know is, how good are they? Do you guys use them? Let us know in the comments. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to go out and shoot this Kodak TRI-X 400 disposable camera that I've had for quite some time. It's just been sitting there, so I thought I may as well go and shoot it. And the reason being is because it's real dreary, miserable day outside. It's quite light overcast, but it's raining, and I thought it might be a good opportunity to take this and take some photographs in the rain, rather than take some of my other cameras, you know, SLRs and stuff. I have got some SLRs that are so-called weather sealed, but I don't really like Nikon F6. I don't really want to go out and risk that in the rain. I could put a sandwich bag over this and load a roll of TRI-X 400 in it, but you know, I thought it would be fun to see what this little camera can offer. The lens is a 30 millimeter focal length, and it's f10 apparently, and the shutter speed on this is fixed at 1/25 of a second. Now outside is light overcast, so sheep at the back there look grazing on the field. It's light overcast, so I've already done a metering out there already, and it's given me f5.6 at 1/25 of a second. So this being what, f10, maybe I'm nearly a couple of stops underexposed, but I do have a flash option on this camera if I want to use it. I just have to press the little button here, a little tiny light pops up, and that means that the flash is ready and charged for shooting. So I might use a flash a little bit here and there. And don't forget, these cameras are used by people that are probably not experienced in film photography, so they'll just grab one of these and go and take pictures no matter the conditions. And these things cost around about 15 to 20 pounds. What's that? I don't know, say $20 if you're out in the States. So these things are about $20. And you get a roll of TRI-X 400, whether you develop it yourself or send it away to get developed. I think they are quite good fun, and especially, do you remember years ago, before digital, we'd go on holiday, you'd probably pick up one of these in the chemist or whatever, and just have a little play around and take some pictures. So I'm going to go out and go to Ryde Pier. It's an old Victorian pier, it's all woodwork, so it's been raining, that should all be wet, and that will give some nice reflections as well. Hopefully I can find some commuters going up and down with brollies or shielding themselves from the wind with this little camera. And this is an old Victorian pier. All this ironworks here. Look at the detail in it back then. And guess what they do in this day and age? It's okay, but look at the decor on that. And the build quality is proper cheap as well. It says it's made in China. It's all very plastic, of course it would be for that price, but the most important thing inside, it's got a roll of Kodak TRI-X 400 inside, and that stuff's come down recently by 30%, I've read. So if you go online, you can actually find Kodak TRI-X now for around about £10 a roll, which is a little bit more expensive than HP5, and whereas it used to be about 15 quid a roll. So TRI-X 400 is now becoming a little bit more affordable, if you can say that. A few years back I think it was around £4, £5, £6 a roll. But let's go out on location. I'll show you where I'm going. We'll try and get some pictures with this little camera. I don't know what I'm going to develop it in later on, probably D76. I might even overdevelop a little bit if I feel like my exposures are going to be underexposed, so in other words pushing the film a little bit. But out in the wet, that ain't too bad. If I get some banging highlights and some banging contrast, pushing this film or overdeveloping it will just compress the negative a little bit more and give me a bit more contrast, a bit more punch. So we'll soon see what happens. Let's go out and shoot this film camera and see what I can get. There you go, straight in the lens. Sorry about that, guys. So I'm down at the pier. They're doing a lot of restoration work on the lights and stuff, but this is an old Victorian pier. Look at the reflections coming off this woodwork in the rain, and this is the pedestrian side here. So I've got plenty to play with. I've also bought out the Shin CS, and I put a roll of TRI-X 400 in that as well, just to see what happens, eh? Just to not compare the differences, but it'd be interesting to see the differences anyway. So I've already done one shot. Let's do one with the flash and one without the flash. I don't even know if the flash went off. Oh, okay, there's the flashlight coming on now. Let's take another shot with the flash on Not it's going to make much difference, I don't think. Little bird going past. I've got to shoot the shit out of this first, and then I'll switch over to the SLR and see what I get with that. It's actually quite fun to shoot. Look at that, one-handed. I don't feel like I need to go two hands at all. Did that flash go off? It did, didn't it? Let's get low down. Get nice and low down here. I'm not going to go on my belly this time, but some nice lines coming in from the rails. I'm now going to go off and shoot my Shin CS camera with a 50mm lens. I can do a little bit of metering and do some more accurate stuff with this. Give it a little lens a wipe. This is a pair of pants that I cut down. Obviously they were clean, but nice soft cloth for me lenses. And you can see I've got a sandwich bag over it, just over the lens, just in case it starts to rain. I can at least protect the camera. I wouldn't really want water getting into this camera. It's got a lot of clockwork inside that I wouldn't want to get rusty. So a little sandwich bag does the trick. I'll show you the results from these pictures now. And these old SLRs, this is a Shin CS from the 1970s. They really are a joy to shoot. It's a heavy lump, it's fully mechanical, it's all clockwork, nuts and bolts. There's only a battery inside for the light meter, which doesn't work that great, but they are really nice cameras to use, and they're very comfortable as well. I love taking this one out now and again and just banging off some rolls of film on it. And these are really cheap. You can pick these up online for, I don't know, anywhere between 20 and 50 quid. If you're in the States, 20 or $50 maybe. But there's plentiful online. Just, you know, the higher price ones are very good condition. But this is like a battle tank. This has got a few battle scars in itself. And I've had this one for many years. So it's a nice camera to shoot. I've got on there a 50mm Pentax Takuma lens, SMC Takuma lens. So it's a beautiful little Pentax lens. And this camera's an M42 screw fit. So I can fit many M42 screw fit lenses onto this camera. There's plenty of those around as well. If you pick up some of the rare Pentax ones, they're not cheap, but they are bloody good lenses. And at the end of the day, a camera is just a camera. Everything else is the lens. So I've just cracked the back off the camera in the dark. I wasn't sure if the film was still attached, so I did it in the dark. But it looks like you can probably maybe reuse this again. There's two tabs. There's one on this side here and one on this side here, where the back of the camera goes back on. You could probably reuse it if you wanted to. Let's take the film out. Maybe, okay. There's a little tab there for the film to come out. So there's your 400 TRI-X. We'll develop that in a moment. I wonder if this is can be reused. Take all this paper off. It's a special film as well, so I think that stops you from reusing it. Can you see these little tiny spikes on the top of the canister? Maybe that's what it's only designed for, this kind of camera. Oh, anyway, if someone can find a way to reuse it, whether you would or why you'd want to, I don't know, for the price of a new roll of TRI-X, you may as well get the whole camera. It's only another 5 quid or whatever. Yeah, it's all jiggery pokery, an alkaline battery in there, look at that. That'll be handy for something else. There's a little lens, I think that's a meniscus lens maybe. There's the shutter by the looks of it. Yeah, there's the shutter there. There's your aperture. There's a flash, all wired up. A little lens, it's all plastic. That's what I'm after though. TRI-X 400, let's see what I've got. So let's get developing this film. I'm going to use D76 an old classic film developer, just 200 of water, 200 of D76. This is going to be rotary process, and I've got both films inside the tank, so that should be enough to cover both films. I will leave that on the rotary for about 8 minutes, and just check the final temp. Should be bang on 20, bang on 20 degrees. In goes the developer, and I'll let this go for 8 minutes on the rotary processor. Get it all nice and tight. There it goes. Just put a wedge there and stop it rolling around. So I'll let that roll now for 8 minutes, and after that I'll get it washed, fixed, and I'll show you the results. So at the start I said, are these disposable cameras worth it and what are they used for? If you use these on a regular basis, or if you have done in the past, let us know what you've used them for and have they worked for you. I can imagine if you're going away on holiday and you give these to the kids, that'll be great fun for them. I can also imagine if you want to go to a festival, you don't want to lose an expensive camera, you just throw a few disposables in your bag and shoot to your heart's content. Or maybe if you buy a few and give them to your friends as a little bit of a challenge, go off and see what you can find and have a little competition at the end. I suppose these disposable cameras do have their place in film photography. The results that I got from the disposable camera, although I did go out on a dreary day, granted, shooting f10 at 1/25 of a second with a 400 speed film, I was expecting underexposed negs, like I said at the start. I'm in the darkroom now and I'm making a few prints to see how they hold up in the darkroom. And the scans from my shoot there, they were a little tiny bit flat, and recently I took that camera and some rolls of TRI-X away with me on holiday, and they went through the airport scanners, and a lot of my film have come back with a little bit of a more dense base or foggy base on them, which you can see on the negative. So you know, it was I was in trouble from the start, really. And here's two negatives side by side. The bottom one is from the disposable camera and the top one is from the Xenon CS. Just look at the base there. Look, you can see how heavy the base is, and that's possibly caused by the x-rays when these when the film and the camera went abroad with me through airport scanners. And if I bring in another piece of TRI-X from another shoot on last year, I think this was, you can see the difference, how the base should look nice and clear, but this one's a little bit foggy, so that also contributed to me having these heavy looking negatives. But no doubt that camera would have worked really well on a nice bright day. As for that little tiny lens, a little tiny plastic lens, it wasn't that bad. It was in no comparison with the Xenon CS when I went off and shot that. And then I look at the price of a disposable camera, or say 20 quid or $20 for argument's sake. You can get a decent point and shoot for that online on eBay used, you know, one of the old classics from the 80s or 90s, for around about the same price, with a decent lens and decent guts in it as well. And you can just keep reloading film, get used to the camera and use that. If you're going out and about and you just want something to keep in the car, maybe that might be a better option. At least you know the camera, and you know you've got a half decent lens in there. These little tiny plastic lenses, they are what they are. You get what you get. And there's some prints that I made from the disposable camera. This guy walking along, they're not that bad. They come out better than I thought, actually. And obviously scanning and doing a bit of dodging and burning in Photoshop is a lot easier than it is in the darkroom. There's another one there, just a little tiny bit of dodging on a coat, and another one there. They're only 5x7 prints. You can see I've done a little bit of dodging as well on the umbrella to make that stand out. So there is some jiggery pokery you can do to make these negatives smile, if you like. But I certainly wasn't smiling when I saw the negs. And then a couple of prints I made from the Xenon CS, where I was able to shoot that f5.6. You can see I've got much better prints out of that one. And there's another print there from the Xenon 5.6, but not perfect prints. I didn't really spend too much time on them, but you get the point. And this is the Xenon CS camera here without the sandwich bag on. It's a fantastic camera, fully mechanical, and like I said, you can pick these up for anything between 20 to 100 odd quid depending on the condition. This one would probably go for maybe around 30, 40, 50 quid. But fantastic camera, made in the 70s. And it's built like a battle tank, it really is. Would I go out and buy disposable cameras? I have done it in the past just to try out. I did make a video on Ilford's HP5 disposable camera. Them ones come out all right, but I went out on a decent day and the film wasn't thrown for x-rays. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comments if you use disposable cameras, if you've bought them in the past. What have you used them for? What sort of results did you get? Did you like it? Let us know in the comments for me and others to read as well. I'll catch you next time.